busy swamped today with this cold?
Oh, yeah. We were swamped yesterday with like mobile service calls, jump starts, flat tires, stuff like that.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. This cold weather's be hard on cars.
Before we get to the topic at hand here, just really briefly, something that Jason and I talked about in the hallway yesterday. You mentioned about cars today, that it's very cold outside, starting newer cars, like in the past, like decade-old cars.
Yep.
How long do you have to warm them up?
You don't have to warm them up.
Thank you.
The car does not care.
Thank you. Okay, that's
your car cared a little bit yesterday when the battery wouldn't start.
Yeah, my battery was totally dead in the garage yesterday. So
in the garage?
In the garage, it went totally dead. So I'm taking a stab in the dark. I might need a new battery.
I know a guy.
I know a guy. I know this.
So I got this guy.
Yeah.
Electricity itself flows better when it's cold, but it's the chemistry in the battery that's the problem. The chemicals.
Well, what it is over time a battery will just get weaker. So let's say it starts out with 800 cold crank amps, and now it's 2 or 3 years old.
This one's about 2.5. Yeah.
It might only have 6 or 550, which would start your car until it gets cold, and then it just requires more energy to start it, and the battery's not new, so it just gives it up.
Okay. It just crashes on you. But what are we talking about today?
We're going to talk about remote car starters today, which is a really popular Christmas gift.
Yes, it is.
And I was trying to think. I got my first remote car starter. It was probably 15 years ago. They've been around a long time, and they were. I mean, it was crude, and I think back, it probably wasn't as safe either. I mean, technology has come a long way on vehicle starters, but I just want to talk about them a little bit because there's a lot of different options. There's a lot of different places that install them, and price isn't or shouldn't be the driving factor when selecting one, because the lower quality units are the ones that come in and we have to fix the car later on because of that.
Now, why would you have to fix a car? What would be some of the things that could go wrong?
Well, it's the module itself, the box that does the starting. If it's got cheaper electronic components, sometimes they'll short out, and I mean, it doesn't burn the car down, but it creates an electrical drain. So you end up with a problem where the battery goes dead overnight, and stuff like that. And we've got to track it down and figure it out, and then send you back to whoever installed it, or if we installed it, hopefully it wasn't one we installed because we get a better quality component. But anything can happen.
Right.
So and then the other thing that people should realize, because we get this request often too, is someone will have one put on a car, and then 2 or 3 years later they go to trade the car off, and they want you to take the remote start off of that car and put it on the new car. All the money in having a remote start installed on a car is in the labor. The components themselves are $100 or less. It's time. It takes hours to tie that in properly.
Okay.
And that's another thing that you want to keep an eye on or look out for is when it's being installed. Most cars have security chips in the keys or some kind of a security system on it, and some companies will make a bypass module where it just bypasses all the security, so it'll start the vehicle. And I don't necessarily think that's a good thing. I don't know what your insurance company would think of something like that. But when we install them, we put modules and the systems are set up so they'll actually utilize the vehicle's security system to start the vehicle, even though the key is.
Oh, really?
So there's a right way and there's a wrong way.
Correct. There's an easy way and there's a hard way
to do it.
Yeah.
But,
and then there's
an easy way and a correct way.
Correct. Yeah. The easy way and the correct way. And then there's different kinds too. I want to talk a little bit about the range because you'll look at the different models, and one will have like 1,000-foot range, the other will have a 2,000-foot range or a quarter mile or something like that. And to keep in mind on that range is it's a radio signal. I mean, it can't go through a building, it can't go around a building, it can't go over a group of trees. So when you look at that, the range is pretty much clear sight.
Line of sight.
Exactly. So if you're looking at a model and it's got a 1,000-foot range, and this one over here is $150 more, and it's got a 2,000-foot range, stop and think of where the car usually is, where it's parked. and whether or not you want to go that route. You know, if you've got, they make systems now where, you know, if you're beyond that, or let's say you work downtown and you have to park your car 3 blocks away, and there's buildings and stuff in the way, they make systems now where you can call your car up with your cell phone.
Wow.
Just give your car a call, tell it to start up and turn the heater on.
Wow. Cool.
And by the time you walk over there, it should be warmed up.
That'd be nice.
Now my remote start, you know, it'll run, but when I get to it and I unlock it, it stops the engine.
Correct.
And that's
Correct.
a security feature?
It is. It is either unlocking it or most remote starts will lock the car before it starts it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yep, you'll hit the button, it'll lock the doors, and then it'll start it. And all of them, if properly installed, when you open a door or touch the brake pedal, it'll shut off. And that's just for that reason. It's in your driveway or it's down in the parking lot here, and it's running, warming up, and all of a sudden a thief comes along and wants to steal the vehicle. Well, you know, there's no key in it, so the steering column's probably going to be locked, but the minute he opens, it's just a good security
Yeah, a lot of
feature.
times thieves will see the car running in the driveway, say, there's one, and they'll go to jump in and take off with it, and then boom.
Exactly. Yeah, if a thief wants a car, you should just go to like a small town, you know, to a Casey's, and
Exactly.
there's a whole lineup of what you want sitting there.
That's true.
But I've had them for years. I mean, and again, it's not to protect the car. It's for us. I mean, we're the creature looking for the comfort, you know, of getting into a warm vehicle.
Okay, now what if somebody's watching right now and they're saying, that's perfect. That's what I need for my wife, or that's what I need for my husband. Obviously, you're not going to have enough time to get your husband or wife's vehicle over to your place to have it installed before Christmas. Do you have any suggestions for what they can do to let them know that they got a remote starter from Ron?
I've got a guy that called me yesterday. He's coming in today, and we've got a certificate made up for him that he can wrap up and put underneath the tree, and that way his wife will know that.
All right, there you go. That's a good idea.
Yep.
Okay.
So yeah, there isn't time, you know, to put a bunch of remote car starters in today.
But knowing that you have a
Here's the
reservation.
gift. Yeah, just like a gift card for a restaurant or something. Here's a gift certificate for the remote start, and here's the day that we're taking it in.
What kind of price ranges are we talking here?
We're looking between $250 and $600, depending on the options.
Okay.
They make some really fancy ones where you get a whole new remote. It'll lock and unlock the doors. Can even, if you've got like power sliding doors on the side of the van, you can push a button. It'll open those doors, close those doors.
And what's a typical installation time period? So down the road, when you have it installed, what kind of time frame are we looking at?
About 4 to 6 hours.
Okay.
Wow.
Yep, and that technology has come a long way as well too. There's more plug and play connectors and stuff where we used to have to go in and you know tap
Cut
in
and
and
splice.
solder in wires and stuff like that. So that's gotten a little easier as well.
Okay. So there you have it. So
All right, Ron, you're a nice guy, but we're going to give you some naughty coal. Just for
Awesome.
So you got some coal.
Wow, this coal is cool.
Here, show everybody.
It's double crisp.
It is double crisp coal, and so you can burn that to stay warm as well.
I don't know that I've ever been least naughty enough, if that's a proper terminology, to get coal. Usually I rate so much lower than that I don't even get coal. Yeah.
You just get the dust after the charcoal burns, right?